Navigating contracts as an influencer can be super intimidating with all of their legal terms, the tiny print, their many pages. But if you sign them without getting really clear on what all of those contract terms mean, you risk getting taken advantage of or getting stuck in a partnership that is nothing like the one you thought you were signing up for. Okay, these are just my blue light glasses. They don't actually help me see any better. A lot of creators out there, including myself, have been personally victimized by the fine print. So I wanted to make a video that outlines and defines some of the common contract terms you'll see in an influencer agreement, and also cover how these contract terms can impact you if you don't negotiate them properly. So we'll start with an easy one. Deliverables. This is usually kind of the first thing that I'm checking when I look at a contract, because I want to make sure that we are aligned on what I'm being paid to do. In other words, what content I'm creating for the brand and on what platforms am I posting. Whatever it says in this section should reflect what you guys negotiated and agreed upon in your emails. It's also important to make sure you're clear on if you have to deliver a concept to them, if you have to deliver drafts. If so, how many can they request? When looking at your deliverables, really just make sure that you are not signing up to do any more work than your initial rate accounted for. Number 2, exclusivity. You might also see this on a contract show up as a non-compete clause, competition protection. This contract term is basically just outlining how you can interact with the brand's competitors during the term of your agreement. It's really important that this section is detailed so that there's no misunderstanding over what qualifies as a conflict of interest. So it should be clear whether or not a brand is asking for exclusivity in the first place, how long they are asking for exclusivity. It should be clear what actions violate exclusivity. Can you not work with their competitors? Can you not post organically? Or can you not be associated with them in any way? Can their competitor's name not escape your mouth? You'll also want to get clear on who they consider to be their competitors, because I've seen both a really narrow and wide definition. The example I usually give is if you are working with a yogurt brand, are they just asking that you don't advertise other yogurts? Or are they asking you not to mention any other dairy products? Or under an even wider umbrella, are you not allowed to work with any other food or beverage companies? It's actually important to know the scope of exclusivity before you even get to the contract stage, because it's important that you are accounting for it in your rate. The longer they're asking you to not work with their competitors, the wider the scope and the more strict the terms, the more you should be charging. Number 3 is term length, which probably should have actually come first, because this is outlining the entire length of time that your agreement is valid, unless there's anything in the agreement that notes specifically that it extends past your agreement term. But I digress. This is really important to be aware of because a lot of other terms in your contract will refer back to the term length. And this is where I think sometimes people get stuck. Using the example of exclusivity, sometimes your contract might say you can't work with competitors for the length of the contract term. In your head, you might think, okay, that's just till the end of my brand deal. My brand deal is at the end of the month. After that, we're cool. But if you circle back to that term length and it actually says till the end of the year, then you're hooped. Another contract term that can be tied to the term length is number 4, usage rights. You also might see this show up in a contract as content rights or ownership. While as creators, we are providing a service for a brand, we're creating the content for them, we never want to fully give up ownership or the rights to the content itself, especially if you're not being paid properly for them. So when you're looking at usage rights, you want to make sure you understand how the brand can use it. Can they use it for ads? Can they only use it organically by resharing it on their own socials? Can they use it on their website, in print media? And how long are you granting them the rights to do so? Make sure you have a monthly rate for usage rights and try not to sign away more than 3 months or 6 months max at a time. But have it in the contract that you are open to a renewal at the end of the term. But never, ever, ever agree to signing away your rights in number 5, in perpetuity, which means forever, perpetually. The brand can use it till the end of time. When I first started, I didn't really think anything of this, and I definitely signed some contracts that let the brands use my stuff for however long they'd like. but I have since learned my lesson. I pretty much will not agree to a contract if that term is in there. If you do, you might find that 5 years down the line, the brand that you once believed in finds themselves in a scandal, and in an effort to flood the internet with good PR, they dig into their archives of partnerships and start running ads behind this video where you said that they were the best ever. And the implications of signing away full usage rights doesn't have to be so nefarious. Maybe the brand just truly loved your content, it's performing really well, and they want to just keep posting it every so often or run ads with it because it's truly making them a profit. But if your content was that good that they want to keep using it and are still turning a profit on it months, years even down the line, you should be compensated accordingly. Honestly, like, our image and our content is all that we have. No other person should own that forever. Number 6 sometimes falls under usage rights and sometimes is a section of its own, and that is whitelisting. This is when you grant the brand access to run ads behind your content through your profile. This goes above and beyond them just hitting the boosting button. This allows them to go into the background of like Meta or TikTok with an ad code and define audiences that they want to target, playing with different versions of it that link back to different websites. And because this is something that brands are specifically putting a lot of money behind and is designed to turn a profit, to convert people, it's important to make sure that you are charging for this. Because while technically this means your content and brand and face is getting in front of more people, the brand has full control over who they are targeting. And it's going to be targeting people that are outside of your existing audience. And speaking from experience, this can put you in the line of fire of a lot of negativity. And if the brand is irresponsible with their whitelisting, your face and this ad can pop up everywhere that somebody turns their head, and it can appear very spammy and annoying. Again, speaking from experience. I'm actually really hoping that the conversation about whitelisting gets more transparent between brands and influencers that are working together, because I think I would like to know how much they are planning on spending on it, how much they're anticipating pushing it, just to make sure that it's not damaging to my brand and just that we're aligned. So food for thought when you see it pop up in your contract. Number 7, confidentiality. The definition of this is probably a no-brainer. Whatever it says in the confidentiality clause is information that you cannot share with others, but I think it's just really important to double check what is in there. Is it just that you're not allowed to share how much you were paid or any of the details of the contract? Were you granted early access information to a product line and you are not allowed to talk about it with anybody? As content creators, our job is to share things online, and I know that a lot of us pride ourselves in being really transparent, so you want to just make sure that there's nothing in there that you might accidentally leak. Number 8, payment schedule. While it seems pretty clear the schedule at which you will be paid, the reason I bring it up is because this is a negotiable aspect of the contract, and it's something that people tend to just like skim over. What I often see under this section, which is also sometimes called payment terms, is that the brand will pay you the full amount at the end of the contract term. Or perhaps once you've posted all the content, waited 7 days, and sent them the stats of how it performed. But that's not really the most fair, especially if you have a long-term partnership with several rounds of content. They're getting their content and results at a regular interval. Why do you have to wait till the end to get paid? Something I try to do, especially with those higher paying partnerships or those long-term partnerships, is to ask for a percentage up front upon signing the contract and a percentage at the end. Or if our partnership has those several rounds, I'll ask for a percentage after delivering each round of content so that we're benefiting from this collaboration at the same rate. On the same wavelength of money, we've got number 9, net pay, or net 30, net 60, net 90. This is outlining how many days after receiving your invoice the brand has to pay. Again, it doesn't fully make sense. We have all of these deadlines that we have to stick to, rapid turnaround for content delivery and posting, and the brand can take 3 months to pay us. This isn't always negotiable, especially at larger brands where they have a very kind of strict accounting system going on, but it is worth challenging and seeing if you can reduce the amount of days it takes to get paid. And this This actually ties back into payment schedule, because if the brand is really strict on net 90, then I would say, hey, can I invoice you upon signing the contract or upon submitting my content draft, just to get the ball rolling a little bit earlier. Number 10, force majeure. This is really only in there to kind of cover the brand's butt if something unexpected happens. This is basically saying that if an event outside of your control, usually it'll say beside it like earthquakes, tsunami, act of God, then you and or the brand will have kind of an excuse not to fulfill the commitments of the contract. I've never really had to challenge this, but it's just one of those terms that you're like, what is this? Why is it here? And finally, number 11 is indemnification. Did I say that right? I got it on the first try. Indemnification. This is actually a lot more important than creators think. This section of the contract is clarifying and outlining who bears responsibility or legal costs in the event that any legal cases come up due to your content. That's actually a really big deal. If your content in some way causes you to get sued, the brand is kind of saying, hey, we're not responsible, not our problem, we're not paying for your legal fees. That's not good. If you made it this far, drop in the comments which of these contract terms you're going to be watching out for in the future. And if you enjoy videos about the business of being an influencer, subscribe for more. Until next time.